Hey Nick, we need a tagline for the podcast.
No.
Real life opinions. Movie reviews told by fans and not critics.
Good fucking evening, everybody. Holy shit, is it hot?
Satan opened up his asshole and like breathed fire on us.
Oh my god. Oh.
Yeah, so for 99.9% of our Canadian listeners, it is like 30 some odd degrees out right now.
Yeah.
As far as Americans go, we're 90s probably right now. So, like, fuck.
We
This
went
sucks.
from a comfortable 23 degrees to 32 in a
Wednesday's
day.
supposed to be like 35.
I know. I am not fucking.
Well,
Lisa's
don't
going to the
worry.
lake, actually. I have to work, so I'm going to be in air conditioning if you need me. But
Mike,
Fuck
we're
you.
hanging out at the hotel. I gotta
Oh,
pack, but
yeah.
we're hanging out at the hotel.
We actually at our shop, which is a giant tin box for machinists and welders. And
oh, you guys work in a desert 52
Well,
weeks out of the year. So.
We bought a couple 3 years ago this it's about 4 feet by 4 foot fan that has it's a portable air conditioner.
I think they need to
And
look up the term portable.
It probably knocks. It's on wheels. You put a garden hose onto one, and
That's portable.
Yeah.
so it probably knocks a good 5 degrees off. And then they bought a second one. Yeah, well, we have a lot of our CNC machines have to be cool if they
Oh,
overheat.
right.
So unfortunately, the CNC machines get to bask in the cool breeze, and we can only hope to get deflection from that.
See, and I'm hearing Corey's got AC.
Uh-huh.
Mike's got
I am
A
nowhere
giant
near
fan.
that machine.
Mike's got freaking hillbilly AC, and poor Laura gets to leave the fucking boilers on at the buildings because Alberta Health says we're not allowed to turn them off.
Haha, Laura sucks.
So, in this scene, it's my turn to choose the movie. So, I chose The Accountant, the best Batman movie that's not been
It's nothing to do with Batman.
That character that Ben Affleck plays is the ideal representation of what Batman would truly be like if he existed in reality.
You're saying
Batman's autistic.
I would say you're saying Batman would be autistic?
Oh, absolutely. No sane human being would be able to, to do the things that Batman or this character.
But now you're saying that autistic people are crazy.
No, they're not crazy. Autistic people have highly focused.
Yes.
And that's where that makes sense that Batman would be good scientifically. I mean, the most unrealistic genius in all fake fiction is like Tony Stark.
Yeah. And he's totally autistic.
What?
He's totally autistic.
Tony Stark is OG.
No, he's supposed to be, but he's not. He's not presented.
Yeah. So what you're saying is petition to make Ben Affleck Batman. Oh, wait.
Ben Affleck was already Batman and he sucked.
He did not,
He
actually.
sucked.
He was the best Batman
He was
there was.
so fucking... No, he wasn't.
Joss Whedon's Justice League didn't portray him well, but it's still whatever. The Flash didn't portray him well, but everything else he was in, I thought he was a great Batman.
So you just hate Ben Affleck?
No,
right?
he was too freaking whiny in Batman.
Oh, in the Justice League?
All
that
of it.
doesn't count.
That's why I said those
Oh,
two.
no.
All of it. I found him
Zack
too whiny.
Snyder, there was no whininess there.
Like, I remember watching
my
Justice
mom.
League, and it's like, oh, something's definitely bleeding. I'm like, Batman would never say that.
Oh, I know. Okay. I don't want to shit on that because I could spend all night long shitting on Joss
Well,
Whedon.
and I took Justice League for what it was. It was a fun story with those characters.
At the time.
Like, I remember Logan and I and Braden and all that, we watched it as a pre-screen, and we're like,
Okay.
this... Were you? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
thought
I
so.
was okay with it.
Yeah, no, it's like you walk away, like, okay, this is cool. But then you're like, but yet...
Later on,
but
as I
yet-
understand, and it's just like, I mean, I hated the Batman. Oh, I'm bleeding. I didn't like that part, but the whole Superman thing at the end was a nice element.
The race?
No, not that part. No,
Oh.
when he comes in to save from.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, once you compare that to what Zack Snyder did, it's dog shit. Zack Snyder had a far better version. Anyway, we're not gonna get into that because That would make you, the person in the background, go, "That's not how it goes!"
No, Ben Affleck just liked his Batman.
Except for the warehouse scene, which was amazing.
She's not a comic book fan, is she?
Depends on the comic book.
Oh, okay, so...
She read heavy metal.
I actually did, yes.
Oh, yeah. I got a whole box of them. Right over
So,
there.
you're the protector?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Anyway,
John Lithgow was a freaking treasure.
this movie has so much value to me in the sense that if we look at the autism nature of it, so my wife works with autistic people. Trevor, my buddy, I've watched him deal with having a son that's extremely autistic, and recently in the last so many years, I've got to work with autistic people in theater, and so I learned a lot about who they are.
Well, even me, like knowing me, I've got a son with stage 1 borderline stage 2 Tourette's, which is very close to autism.
I thought you just had a foul mouth.
No, he doesn't swear.
No, you.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, no, I don't have
Yeah.
Tourette's though.
And I think
She just lets it fly because.
Right?
watching Ben Affleck portray this, he does such an incredible job, in my opinion, of representing what autistic people, like a high-end, highly functional high-end autism, and it's point being is they're self-sufficient. They're able to work on their own, but they still have clear, significant, noticeable social issues.
I think that, like, the kids at the beginning scene where it's supposed to be him as a kid and then they're in that little hospital house thing, if those other two get, like, not so much Christian's character, but the other two, if they weren't played by legitimate autistic kids, I'd be surprised, because otherwise they knocked it out of the park.
They did.
Like, Ben Affleck's Christian, I could see that being an act, but those other two,
Oh, yeah.
damn.
See,
So-
and I can honestly say, like that other kid, he was focused on getting, or Christian,
Yeah.
hyper-focused on getting that puzzle done.
Yeah,
So extremely hyper-focused. He couldn't find that last piece.
yeah.
That is true to
That's-
form.
That's life-ending.
Yes.
For somebody.
But that girl, like, that seemed legit.
I was actually quite surprised because nonverbal autism has nothing to do necessarily with their intelligence.
No.
And it's so easy to fall into that trope. And when I found out how the arc of the movie goes, I was so shocked. And then doing a little deep dive into that research, yeah, that is so real and true. Plausible.
And it's a mental state with society that if you have autism, you've got Tourette's, you've got any of this, you're mentally incapable of doing anything. And it's not true. None of it is true. I mean, look at his character. And it is, again, true to form. High-functioning Tourette's or autism, there's particularly one subject that they're good at. In his case, it's math. He can pick a number out like there's no tomorrow.
He'd be a good accountant.
Well, it's very,
Right?
it's very common now. It's frustrating to those who don't hit the lottery for autistic people to be, like you say, that hyper focus on numbers. They can say 300 integers of pi.
Uh-huh.
I had another friend with another autistic boy, but super highly functional, worked at Superstore, and he could go on.
Numbers is one of the highest ones that it seems that they click with.
And anything associated with that, like music, is associated with mathematics. If you excel at one, you generally excel at the others.
Yes. So, and generally what calms him down, and as we saw with Ben Affleck's character, he's blasting music, he's sitting there, he was stemming.
Yeah. Now, quick question. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah.
Do you think that he was able to become a functioning member of society, working as an accountant, because his dad put him in the stressors, or not? Because
Yes.
remember how, like, said the mother and that doctor wanted to take him away from the stressors?
Yes.
And he's like, no, he needs to learn that life is full of stressors. And
So-
and then his dad, in the end, basically you see his dad like was holding on to him and everything like that. But I think that's what, because you unfortunately do have to play a little bit of tough love in that situation.
So, in this scenario, with what the dad did with him, because the dad made him what he is, the environment, all the stressors around him, yes, they need to have all of that because it helps them deal with life, basically. You
can't shelter them forever.
Exactly, because you're going to go outside and cars are going to honk, and that's going to stress them out. That's going to set them off.
It's huge. With my friend, a car driving by at the wrong time, and it sets them off. A car parked out front doing nothing that's not supposed to be there triggers them off. And
some jackass who parks on the sidewalk.
Yeah. Well, and on that note too, it's like you say what the dad did as far as the hugging. I mean, you want to squish them like a normal sized adult, maybe not me, but a normal sized adult would actually lay on them and actually. You can buy thunder jackets.
Yeah.
Well, that's why weighted blankets are so huge for that, right?
It is, but not all kids respond to that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just calm talking. Breathe. You gotta breathe. Count to 3. Breathe. When they start stemming, there's ways around it, like hands. Sit on your hands. Fidget your thumbs. Yeah. Rub your feet together. Don't get rocking like you're about to launch.
All of it applies to the degree, the spectrum, where they're at, and how they can do it. I mean, we talked about that bombardment of overload, sensory overload, and it does come across as inhumane. And I don't know if it's a broadly accepted process, but what I felt like is that it was a very real, plausible thing. Like, I'm sure it is, but I mean, it would be so difficult to put your child through the initial trauma to get accustomed to that.
Now, from a parent standpoint, and I'm going to fully go on a parent standpoint of this one, if I was the mom in this one, she did the right thing by taking him to the therapist. She did the wrong thing by agreeing to hide him away.
But back then, because obviously that was like 30 years ago or whatever.
But that wasn't the norm 30 years ago. That never became the norm until the 2000s.
Yeah.
See, when I was diagnosed with, because I have ADHD, I'm an adult now and I deal with it on my own. But when I was diagnosed with that and everything like that, I was a test tube baby, essentially, like subject. I was taken to the university. They did tests of me. They watched me in class. They did everything. And the only thing they wanted to do about it was pump me full of Ritalin.
And Ritalin is something that I don't agree with any kid going on because it basically turns them into a zombie.
Yeah, it completely shuts off all emotion.
See, and like Victor is on Vyvanse, which is triggered for ADHD, not for the Tourette's, because you treat the ADHD and not Tourette's. And that has helped him. It's helped him focus. He's another one, really good at math. But it was a scenario, we had the options of either homeschool him, he could be clinical, or put him in school and make him learn these stressors and deal with them. We chose to put him in school because he needs to deal with it. Little did I know as he was going through school that they secluded them.
Oh, so it was pointless.
It was pointless. And up until grade 10 when we yanked him out of the special needs class and put him into school.
I want to deviate from our current. We'll come back and depress you all later with scientific and whatever. But we're looking at a movie. The Accountant has a heck of a cast. So we got Ben Affleck as Christian, the accountant. We have John Bernthal, which I don't want to say you haven't seen it yet, Corey, have you?
I feel horrible that I haven't because I really want to see it.
You know what? That's okay. And you'll go home and watch this in clarity later.
I will, yeah.
But can I spoil comments?
Yeah.
Yes.
Bernthal is his brother. And so as we develop into this, we learn all these flashbacks as kids and what it means. Now, we don't ever get to see them together. until the end of the movie.
Oh, okay. So really?
And we
Anna
have
Kendrick.
Anna Kendrick was the cutest little button girl ever to grace the movies, and Pitch Perfect. She actually plays a really good character in this. The balance to him.
Very white teeth.
So Ben Affleck is basically hired by John Lithgow to do the accountant for his
He
company.
wasn't hired by John Lithgow, though.
Are you positive? Because John Lithgow wanted him to cover the accountants to prove it was right. Then he, through the events, when John maybe not done it himself, he told an employee to do it. But it was John Lithgow's company who wanted to create that. Am I wrong?
It was his company, but as he's figuring out the numbers,
Well, yeah,
he
no,
comes
but I
in
mean,
and I hired you to do a job. Now do it.
John Lithgow said that.
No, it
Who
was
said
a
that?
female.
Well, I guess we're going to have to wait because I think that there's
It's coming
there's
up.
a system in there because John Lithgow is the big protagonist.
John. So spoiler. John
Spoiler.
Lithgow hires his brother to protect him from him.
Oh yeah. Oh, eventually that was his biggest
Did
mistake.
you say protagonist?
What's that?
Did you say protagonist?
Yes.
So he's not the antagonist?
He's the antagonist.
Oh, sorry, antagonist. Yeah.
I was like, why is
Sorry,
the bad
Ben
guy the good
Affleck's
guy?
the protagonist.
Yeah.
Sorry. I hate those big fancy words that we learn. in
Good guy,
theater.
bad
It's
guy.
Stupid. So, why? Bad guy, good guy. Simple. We're done.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I grew up with comics, so yeah, for me it always was bad guy, good guy. It was never protagonist, antagonist, although being a cultured movie person, obviously I know what they mean, so.
But I love this movie for it delves. This one is going to be a fight for which section it goes into, because it strongly hits 2 or 3 sections.
2, I can agree with.
Okay.
2 for sure, anyway. Which is what I said. 2
No, you said
or 3. I said 2 or 3. So,
I am pretty sure one of them I will thoroughly disagree with.
It's not a
the
horror
third one,
movie.
probably.
Right.
Oh, J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
Another
He was
brilliant
the
piece
cop
of-
or whatever it was,
Yeah.
or an agent, or...
Yeah, one might say he'd be almost representative of a young Gordon, Commissioner Gordon type,
How did we
Which
end up
is
back up on
ironic because of... Yeah.
Yeah. So, as we all know, Ben Affleck right now, he's in that mid-stage preparing to play the Batman.
Yeah.
That's why he's so...
This was 16, I think, this movie?
Yeah, it was just before it.
Yeah.
He was struggling in his promoting of his movies because he was on roid rage and he's getting quite upset on talk shows.
I don't know. Out of anybody who's ever played Batman, I think he is the most comic accurate in my opinion. So
The most...
comic accurate.
Oh, he's absolutely the most comic accurate visually, but I would also agree that he's...
Well,
He has the other side, but I'm not going to get into that with Laura. So she obviously has something against Batfleck. So
Just too whiny.
I do not see where you get that from, but okay. I'll.
You could say that he
I
was
think-
angsty, but
No, he was whiny.
Whiny, okay. Yeah, well, anyway.
Batman is emo, though.
Well, the new
Okay,
one
but
is,
there's emo, and then there's being a whiner.
I mean-
I suppose you're that person that jumps on that Luke Skywalker whiny thing too.
Oh, fuck, don't even get me going.
See, it baffles my mind, and this isn't towards you per se, but it's towards so many people. They use that word whiny, and it's just like, that's just a pitch of voice. That's all that means, is a pitch or a tone. And it always frustrated me because if we use it in the sense that they complain a lot, well, Han Solo was the biggest bitch-ass whiner I've ever heard of. Or we can go down something with a deeper voice.
Actually, see, if you're going based that way, I would say Leia was more of the...
Oh, absolutely.
But I want to go to the town and get a space camera.
Yes.
Oh, it's not my fault. It's never my fault.
No, see,
Oh,
and that
yes,
brings in, was it me and
What's that?
It wasn't
Han
me.
Solo was arrogant, so he was.
Yes.
Yeah, but he complained a lot. He blamed everybody for everything else.
That's his arrogance,
which is
though.
the
That's
same thing,
arrogance.
other than the pitch of his voice.
No, that's just arrogance.
No.
Yes.
No.
Did he have
No,
a pitch?
no.
Did he have a pitch though?
He's
He
got
was
a gorgeous voice.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, people want to use that. It's just like, I don't get that. I don't get that description. There was nothing whiny in my mind about Batfleck. He didn't pitch up with his voice. He had this great voice. He made his statements, but there was nothing whiny about his character. But again, I want to point out at point 19, I said I did not want to get into this, but Laura's convinced she wants to replace Jeff tonight.
Apparently.
So in the role of Jeff,
Oh my.
Except for you're the one who keeps bringing up that I'm the one who has to be Jeff tonight.
I didn't said you have to be
Yes,
Jeff.
you did, right at the beginning.
I never said that.
I don't listen to when you guys talk. I'm
No,
just.
I never said you have to be Jeff.
You said I'm replacing him. Anyway, back to the movie.
Yeah, no, she's totally embodying Jeff now.
Anyway,
She's
back
making
to the
stuff
movie.
up. Sorry, Jeff.
You're too tall to be Jeff anyway, so.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, and I'm prettier.
That's fair.
Yes. According to you, though, never mind.
It's Jeff
I don't know.
prettier,
You said
Corey.
something, or was it Jeff that said that?
What, that he's prettier?
So no, something about you in a very. It was a friendship way. Apparently, I can't remember what it was.
I feel I need to know more about what you're trying
Me too.
At the same time,
we were
I don't.
at Jeff's house,
Uh-huh.
and somebody made a comment towards you being. I can't remember what it was, and it was just like, okay, let's.
What, one of the guys?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember that comment.
So, anyway.
Anyway, so there's a shit ton of numbers on his glass windows now.
So now we can get back into the nerdy stuff there. We talk about, as an accountant, has autism and all this stuff, you hyper-focus on the math and the numbers. The whole pinnacle point to all of this stuff is you have to finish your project. You have to finish what you're doing. That's why they'll not sleep for days, or they'll go on and on and on. And if you prevent them from finishing it, quite often that is a trigger.
Oh.
And this is one of the big triggers.
The only thing I couldn't quite figure out with this is how he figured that the common denominator in all of it was the number 3.
And that would make total sense in this, that we would get that. Some obscure thing, but whatever. So,
She's the one
I'm
who
assuming
looks
she's the one that actually literally hired him.
yes, and then looks at him as after Anna Kendrick leaves.
Yeah.
His whole demeanor changes. Like right now, it's changing.
Oh yeah. You actually, that's very good. You can see where there's a pride in what he's doing, and then as he faces her, you can see his social demeanor, how he has to behave.
Yeah.
I like that. That was
Who
like
is
that.
that?
Nuance.
She is very familiar.
Yeah, she is. I've seen her in lots of stuff.
But right here is where I hired you to do a job. I'm working on it.
There. Look at that face. It is like so.
Everything drops.
So
Yeah.
John Lithgow's character is the one who actually hires his brother
Well, I know he eventually hires his brother. I knew
to
that.
protect him, but also kill Anna Kendrick.
Yes. Oh, I knew that.
Yeah.
But I felt like that was the after. Okay, things have gone too far, so now I have to hire this guy. So
Well-
that hasn't happened in the timeline.
Well, what it actually was or the way I perceived it, is that Anna Kendrick's the one who discovered that there was a problem with the books. Took it to her. She hired Ben Affleck's character.
Oh, you think Anna hired Ben Affleck?
No. She took it to the boss.
Yeah.
The boss is the one that hired Ben Affleck's character. Ben Affleck's character is the one who discovers that it's John Lithgow.
Yeah. So I'm good. So, do you know the story behind what Bernthal is doing?
Killing people?
Yeah. I mean, you don't just put something in there. We know that he's a hired hit of sorts. And clearly he has talents and abilities.
Yes.
Of the dark nature. And I don't think so. This is my point being. This is a random track that has nothing to do with Christian or Ben Affleck's character. This is just
But it does
creating
have,
who Bernthal is.
but it does have something to do with Ben Affleck's or with Christian because it's bringing his brother back into it.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean his arc right
Yes.
now has nothing to do with the company that Ben is working.
Yeah, nothing
That's
to do
what I
that
mean.
way. Yeah.
Oh, from a story standpoint. Oh yeah, obviously,
Yes.
yeah. That's movie in
Exactly.
a good way. You know, so. This is just setting up who Bernthal is, allowing us all to sit there. Who the fuck's he? What has he got to do with all this?
Yeah.
Which I love how it is too. This movie takes a lot of flashbacks, and they do it in a good way. You can hear a film very, very dramatically.
Oh.
Oh, and this is whoa! What the fuck are you doing? So they're wiping up all his numbers and math, although he's probably got to memorize them.
So Mr. Chitton
Yeah.
was the founder of the company.
Yes. Okay, so here,
So
yeah.
that's where his brother's character comes in because he just killed the founder.
See, this is why I believe he was hired him, because he's paying him out. You know, here's the remainder of your contract, your release or whatever. So this is where I suggested that he was the one that hired him, right or wrong. So I justified my point that I was wrong. If that's the case.
That's okay. But even there, he's saying, please, I need to finish.
Yeah.
But they won't let him finish.
There's so many of these guys in this movie that you know them from such lighthearted things, but you also know them from such opposite things, and they rock both roles so well. Like we've seen, Ben Affleck, we generally only see serious and slightly lighthearted. Exception of his Kevin Smith roles.
Yeah.
But he's generally a pretty serious dude.
And his Beyonce commercials.
Anna Kendrick is generally lighthearted, and she's very serious in this and very good at it.
Yeah.
John Lithgow, from his Emmy Award to Dexter, which he was very much deserved for, to playing Third Rock from the Sun.
Yeah.
I love...
Don't forget Cliffhanger, you bastard.
It's a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
It's J.K. Simmons. The average moviegoer was introduced to him in Spider-Man. Obviously, he was around before that, but so he was lighthearted there, and then all of a sudden, Whiplash came out, and all these other movies were like, dude, he has got range.
I love it when you get these actors and characters that play these. This for Ben Affleck to pull this off is impressive as an actor.
Yeah.
Then you look at J.K. Simmons to pull off, because this is much more of an endearing character compared to when he was Commissioner Gordon, compared to when he was Spider-Man dude.
J. Jonah Jameson, yeah.
J. Jonah Jameson.
This is when you can tell that he's completely...
Frazzled.
Yeah. This is like, how do you take care of that? Oh, God, I can't stand this because it looks so good. Oh. Pain sensory, overload sensory, all this stuff.
Well,
it makes sense. But
And right now, he is completely in sensory overload.
yeah.
He can't figure out...
And he's on medication to temper this.
Yes.
And, so... this is kind of the darker, more serious tones leading into this movie. There's some moments later on in the movie that actually warm my heart, that kind of lighten up and bring a brightness, so you're not left walking out of this movie with this darkness they're giving you now, which I really love. We're going to the dark places now, but we end up seeing some light, some hope, some,
See, and it was him throwing his pills
Yeah.
that made him stop.
Yeah.
But now all of a sudden he knows what's going on too.
Watching this movie again, I remember seeing it the first time. I loved it, and maybe it was more gratuitous why I loved it then. I am a Ben Affleck fan. I did like this and I did like that of Ben Affleck.
See, and generally I'm the same way. I like certain things that he does. more serious of a role, the more I like it.
Yeah. Well, I think he's much more of a dramatic. You look at him and Matt Damon. Matt Damon's the goofball of the pair.
Right? But I love, even with Matt Damon, like, I loved Good Will Hunting will always be one of my favorites.
Absolutely is. For put together by a couple of rookies, done phenomenal.
Right?
It holds strong. Wonder where they are.
Thailand.
Jakarta?
Or it's just the guy.
I just noticed that last time I watched the movie. He's got a paper, and they're obviously in an Asian, and the paper has Jakarta on it. What? That seems awfully. Oh. It's exposition done well.
Right?
If you don't know it's Jakarta, then it doesn't matter. You know?
Yeah. I just, like, you kick the shit out of my kids, but they're not done yet. Kick the crap out of them some more.
I'm done. I'm done doing this for another 30 seconds or so. So we're going to take a little break because I want to.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Done.
Why are you scared?
And we're back. So, what were we talking about? I don't remember what we were talking about.
Me either.
I don't know, but I just saw Ben Affleck with a 50 cal, so that was pretty cool.
Ben Affleck just shot a truck.
How
So,
is that truck so trucking?
at this point, we know that the hired bad guys are after to get Ben Affleck and Anna Kendrick.
Well, not Anna Kendrick yet, just Ben Affleck.
Well, I know, but we know they're going there.
Yes.
But this is the badass. This is where, to me, I could totally relate him to a Batman type, because if you find something that you focus on, you're not going to find anybody better with fighting than an autistic person who's passionate and focused on martial arts.
Yeah,
you're
I
done.
was trained, yeah. So.
Yes.
I mean, he brought a belt to a knife fight,
And he won.
and he won.
Yes. And this is where we get some really strong action and some really good energy in the middle part. We're starting to feel this out. Who does Ben Affleck care for? And who are these two people? They were somebody that he helped out with accounting and corrected, saved their farm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who does number 2 work for?
What's that?
I said, who does number 2 work for?
Right, and sorry.
Yeah. Well, see, this is where a movie really comes together, because Fords do not drive like that. Oh my lord, that thing would have been. That's just a slam to Ford drivers. You know any Ford drivers? Because I can't believe anybody that would actually willingly drive a Ford.
I don't.
You know
My wife's got an escape.
What's that?
My wife has an escape.
Scotty.
Jeff has his. What year is his?
Oh, I don't know.
It's
Like
always broke
1985, I think.
Yeah.
His
Who's this? Now we know who
That's
it
Ben
is.
Affleck.
That voice.
Oh, I don't know. I can't hear.
Yeah. I mean, I got subtitles on, but this is what it was. The first time I watched this, I go, "What's this? Oh my God, what is this?" You know. Did you piece it together already? No. I mean,
oh no, yeah. By the end of it, I had pieced it
By the
together.
end of it, oh yeah, it's Apple is just like it's almost a jaw drop moment.
Yeah.
You know, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, but by the end of it, it was like, okay.
How far into this movie are we?
We are only about halfway.
Yep.
That's very close. So we spent half of the movie doing the setup for the whole movie, which I think is, I never found it slow. I felt I was engaged the whole time.
I did find it to be a slow build-up.
It was slow in the sense that it was not high energy like the scene we just got, but it was slow. It was a slow burn.
Yes.
You know, and it was intended to be. So, but as the movie goes, it's a snowball and just cresting over,
Yeah.
picking up momentum and momentum.
See, and I like a good slow burn too.
Oh, I do too.
Like depending on my mood, but
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I like a good slow burn, and like my wife can't do them. She hates slow movies.
So when I watched this one again in preparation for this, I was not in the mood for a slow movie. So it was hard to get into.
See, again, this is one of those movies. The first time I watched it, I think I watched it within a week later or something like that. But it's just like, I don't know if I could watch this again willingly because of the energy, even in the slow parts. For me, the energy was still there, and it drew you in and engaged you. You were very focused on the characters, and they all did such a great job. And then when I decided to do this, I was really excited to have all four of us here.
And this is why you need a stove with a natural gas burner.
Yeah. It's hard to unplug those.
Remember when Amber Heard gets clocked in the head with a toilet seat or toilet lid in Zombieland?
Yes.
Oh, she's in that one?
She's the neighbor that he's like in love with for like a second there. Yeah.
The minute you said that was
yeah.
Okay.
Jesus.
He just wants to make sure that he doesn't get up ever again.
Yes, it's very John Wick of him.
Yeah, right.
Oh, look!
Toilet lid.
Toilet lid!
Oh, I told
Oh!
Slamming a toilet lid.
Pretty sure his arm is broken now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
His wrist should have
Apparently
been.
not.
See, and I'd clock him just on
Isn't
principle.
that a nice wood door? I like the pattern of it.
Right? It's
Beautiful door.
a beautiful door.
Is it like maple? This is probably the hardest fight Ben had to deal with. But then again, it's just like, I remember, what's his name from Terminator 2?
Oh.
Patrick?
Robert Patrick.
Robert Patrick. He trained so hard to run without showing his facial.
Yeah.
I felt like the same thing is here. He's in this. Ben Affleck was very much in the same kind of thing where he had to fight without expression.
Yeah.
I thought of that the first time. So I could have seen this expanding into, if not a TV series, a good series.
Well, they made a sequel.
Did they?
Did they? I would love it if they did. Maybe it's in the books. I mean,
Maybe.
they'll make a sequel for anything nowadays. Apparently, Cliffhanger has a
Yeah, I
sequel.
know.
Yeah, so.
I still like Cliffhanger, so.
Oh, I like Cliffhanger. They didn't need a sequel.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I love this scene here. This is we've seen earlier in the movie that we had a Jackson Pollock painting.
Yes.
One of Jackson Pollock's more famous ones, worth millions.
Yep.
And then as we walk into this trailer, we see all these collectibles he's picked up. He's probably got $30-40 million worth of merchandise in this.
Oh, easily. He takes
that
various
Pollock,
payments.
that Pollock might be worth 30.
And he has it hanging on the ceiling in a streamliner.
Yeah, and Anna Kendrick recognizes
So,
it.
in February 2020, Ben Affleck confirms there has definitely been talk about a follow-up, but they have yet to nail down a script. At the same time, he also mentions there's been talk about developing an accounting TV series. And then,
makes sense.
January 25th, 2024, Collider Magazine reported that filming would start this year.
2024?
Yeah.
So it's not out
awesome.
yet.
I'm good with that. There we go. Action comic number 1.
Yep.
And
That might be worth a few
it's
pennies.
That's about $3 million.
It's the gold bricks.
What about the gold bricks?
It's just sitting there.
Yeah.
But Action Comics number 1.
Yeah.
What was it? The best one sold were what? 3.5 million. And
I know somebody, was it Nicolas Cage?
Nicolas Cage
Yeah.
owns one.
Yeah.
Which I don't think he sold to take care of his tax purposes.
He's taking it.
Yeah. I mean,
He's studying him so he can try and kill him later.
Or something like that.
He's got a few of them in there.
Yeah, this is kind of like a fun little scene, looking at all these collectibles.
Right. He's not answering any of her questions.
I'm just answering you precisely. Why is this here? So that it can be containable, hooked up, and go. He's answering her questions exactly as she's asking them. So yeah, that's another personal connection because I did the play Red. I kind of studied Pollock, and
Well, you
Moscow
know,
and all that.
in that point, he did actually answer her perfectly. Please tell me that's not an original Pollock. We should go.
Again, as cute as Anna Kendrick is, I hate her eyes.
Oh, really?
They seem misshapen.
Huh. Oh, I never noticed.
But nothing taken away from her as an actress. She's amazing. She's cute as a button, like you said, but
Yeah.
her eyes bother me.
Yeah, who's that chick from Queen's Gambit and Furiosa?
Anna Toy, yeah, her.
Yeah, I thought
Anya.
her eyes were really
Her eyes are
interesting.
really far
Now
apart.
I don't like them.
No,
That bugs me.
she looks like an alien, and I'm not convinced she's not.
Like the one she played in the one.
No, and just in general, I'm convinced that Anya Joy Taylor is an alien.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. When I saw her promotional shoots for Mario there, because she played Princess, I did not believe that wasn't like an AI picture or something. I thought it was fake.
Well, that was the first time you really got to know who she was?
Yeah, me, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I know she was in a lot of other shit, and I read about it afterwards, and I didn't a lot of movies I would never have watched, but
Yeah, there's a couple you should.
fuck. Shit.
So,
Scary
according to
looking.
this one, autism they also call Fragile X syndrome.
Oh, okay.
That,
Never heard of it.
no.
Uh,
That's made up for the movie.
gotta be.
it could be an offshoot from somebody else, like who, you know, it was at Asperger, and then it's autism, and I'm sure, you know, before it was autism and Asperger, it was retardation, and we go back into time, and the
Now
terminologies changed.
now retardation is intellectual disorder.
Sure. I don't know how. I can tell you this: the definition of retardation is mean it is not working to the full function of its capabilities.
Yes.
I watched an episode of CSI back in the day, like I'm talking old school CSI, and these like redneck whatevers shoot a person with Down syndrome and kill him, and they get caught at the end, of course, and Grissom is like whatever, and the guy's like, oh, what does it matter? He's just a retard or whatever like that. And I do hate that word too, and I don't have no reason to hate that word, but I do. He right before they get hauled away, he's like, just so you know, the term retarded means to slow down. So now it looks like you guys are the ones that are retarded.
I don't mind the word. I just hate how it's used.
The Office said it best.
How did they say it?
Steve Carell's like, you don't call your friends, or you don't say retard. That's in poor taste. You call your friends retarded when they're acting retarded.
Yeah, and this is the tasteless class of our section of our podcast.
But no,
Yeah.
that's probably the last time you heard me use that word.
No,
So,
I mean,
yeah,
it's,
so
again, it's like it's a word. It's just a bunch of letters creating a syllables. We as humans attach negativity to all these words, and like I say, it's the usage of it that is distasteful and annoying. So.
and that can be said with so many slurs.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
You ever
What
see
is a
Clerks
slur?
2?
No.
Oh,
No.
Yes.
Porch monkey. What? It's okay, I'm taking it back.
Right.
Now that's what a real accountant should look
Yeah, right.
like.
She
One would
reminds
think,
me.
you know?
She reminds me, not quite, but she reminds me of Tessa Thompson.
I can see.
Yeah, like I said, not
can
quite,
see,
but yeah.
yeah. And
And
I
that-
don't remember her from anything else. What is she? She does a great job here. She's a little.
TV, maybe.
What's that?
She could be TV, maybe.
That very well could. I mean, it's interesting how she got involved. Her character.
Wasn't she hired by JK?
Yeah,
She
Yeah.
lied on her FBI application.
she lied.
That's what
And,
they were.
and she was supposed to be shunned from the FBI and federal.
Was she
and all
Mary
that stuff.
Beth? Was that Mary Beth?
There's only one girl of her.
Well, it's just
ethnicity, so-
the picture here is very
Let's
terrible.
Yeah, that's her.
Okay.
So what's that actress's name?
Cynthia Edai Robinson.
So what has she done?
That's what I'm taking a look here. She's in Rings of Power, which has
Is
not
it
come
That's
Netflix
after
se-
this.
Yeah. Star Trek Into the Darkness, but a small role. Columbiana. I wanted to watch the movie actually. Anyways, yeah, nothing really too whatever.
She's played a lot of small.
Yeah, lots of
roles.
TV. Yeah.
Yeah.
She played somebody in Arrow, Amanda something.
Oh, Amanda Waller?
Oh, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, because they gave they portrayed Amanda Waller as skinny and thin, and yeah, that would be it too. I hated that about because that's just not the character. Nothing offense.
Of course.
No offense to skinny people. I think we all should accept.
I'm pretty sure
skinny
she was also white originally in the comics, wasn't she?
She was.
Yeah.
people. Well, I've never known her as white.
Well, just like Whistler used to be a black kid teenager in a wheelchair.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know. They're always
Yeah.
changing
Wait,
that.
that part actually pissed me off a little bit with that change.
I think Chris Christopherson though.
Right. I mean, that was the redeeming part.
Yeah.
The first time I found out who Amanda Waller was from Justice League, and which was absolutely the cartoon.
Oh, okay.
The cartoon.
I was like, that's not that old.
Which was like that is a just like
Yeah,
Kevin
Amanda
Conroy
Waller,
was the
yeah.
voice of Batman. She was my Waller.
Yep.
Michael Ironside was Darkseid. What's his name? Brown. Clancy Brown is Lex Luthor. That's how I see it. Yeah.
So he's kind of describing his isms
Yes.
to Anna Kendrick. So
So, if we were to look, the most common or most publicized would be Sheldon from Big Bang.
yeah.
Yes.
He was definitely Asperger's and
Yeah.
autistic, but
Yeah.
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 Which is, I always.
Which, so I've never actually watched Young Sheldon. Did they actually
No.
bring up the fact that he's autistic?
I don't know.
I don't
couldn't
know.
stand- I couldn't.
I know. I couldn't
Big
do it.
Bang had about 3 good seasons, and then they just started repeating the same.
But
shit.
even in that one, I know they didn't bring
Yeah.
up that he was autistic.
They really didn't. They didn't bring it up because they wanted to present it as it's just part of life.
Yeah, they
Well,
want
so
him to be
then-
a lovable character, not a
Well,
case.
and he was a lovable character,
Yeah.
but
They got
again,
annoying.
well, they all do. They all do.
Who's they? What do you mean by they? What are you talking about, Coach?
Well,
Oh, sorry.
You get annoying. Corey gets annoying. My kid
Oh,
gets annoying.
I'm only annoying on days that end in Y.
Why?
Yeah, why?
No, I don't know. I don't think there's been many. Oh, actually, what's its name from the Guardians of the Galaxy guy?
Which one? The main guy?
No, the one who all the autistic people related to his character, the Batista.
Oh,
Oh,
Drax?
Drax.
Dave Batista? Yeah.
Yeah, no, his after I can't remember which movie it was. He had a really huge following with people who are autistic.
Really?
That could really relate to the way he would respond to things literally and this and that, whatever. So there was a bit of a thing about that, and I remember that.
I haven't followed him much, but all of his Rian Johnson movies, like the Knives Out movies, he's been really good there. Like that
He's
one.
only in the one, right?
Yeah, and I was gonna say, wait, he's only in the one, but he was
Glass
really good.
Onion was far better than Knives Out.
Yeah.
And I will always refer to it as Knives Out 2 because I know Rian Johnson hates that. So, and I hate Rian Johnson for creating The Last Jedi.
I hate what Rian Johnson did to Star Wars, but I like everything else he's done.
He's done some. Nothing he's ever done I thought was awesome or fantastic.
No, not at all,
Was
but-
kinda
but
cool,
good.
But I honestly don't think that. What's his name? The
Joseph
lead.
Gordon-Levitt or Bruce
Joseph
Willis?
Gordon.
Yeah.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt does not look anything like
Bruce Willis? No.
30 years later.
No.
So that took me out of that story being really strong. I thought the idea of it was really good.
Mhm.
I've never seen The Brick or whatever the hell that one was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was supposedly Rian Johnson's big thing.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. And then I don't remember. Then the next thing I know of, Logan was excited with Star Wars because, my God, he did The Brick. and Looper is like, oh, okay. Oh, that'd be cool. Let's find out what happens there. And we won't go down that road anymore.
Nope. Nope, Last Jedi was awful.
New York City in the 80s. Crazy Eddie Anter.
Her getting close to him, it takes him back to the fact that he can't stop something once it started. He's constantly thinking of the numbers, always thinking the numbers.
It's interesting how, how he's feeling, like what kind of sexual thoughts or emotional thoughts in that sense does autism, because it's very different to read.
Very much.
I would, you know what? I would love to know, because most people with my experience that have it, not personal, but like people I've known, generally don't have. And I say this not to generalize, but just from my experience, generally don't have a sexual thought in their mind. They don't.
They're like also asexual.
Essentially, right?
Essentially,
Yeah.
So I always wondered why in The Good Doctor, how a normal girl ends up hooking up with him. And I apologize for using normal. That was a terrible choice of words, but
So what it is, and therapy works wonders with this one because, I had a kid in there. What it actually ends up being is they're not attracted to them sexually, like you say. It's their personality. It's what they do for calming them. It's something about their demeanor is what actually attracts them to them. But it's not in a sexual manner.
So one might be extremely excited about an intellectual thing that they do, and then that leads.
which is actually kind of right where most people walked off the Big Bang Theory's bandwagon when they started saying that he had a physical relationship with Amy. It's like, that's not Sheldon. He would not do that. And they stopped watching the show.
Oh, really?
So,
But his relationship with Amy to begin with
was
intellectual.
purely intellectual.
Yeah.
And they said that flat out.
Yeah.
But, like I said, then she started wanting more from him, and he didn't. And then finally, they started doing things, and I'm like,
Oh, I forgot about this. So this is did they actually lock eyes? No, they didn't.
No.
So, okay, so Bernthal is going to do a job, and Ben Affleck is going to do his job. They both know there's somebody against them,
Yes.
basically, but they don't know who it is. But there was that moment, which is movie doing its thing.
Movie within
I don't
movie.
even want to say it was movie. It was doing its thing. Is where like there was that moment where we got to look at each character's eyes as if to say,
Right?
something odd is going on.
See,
I have a feeling.
something's rotten in the state of
Like, and the
Denmark.
thing is like he was coming to kill her to find out she's already dead.
Which was by Bernthal,
Yes.
because Lithgow's covering his ass.
Yep. So in this picture, does that flag not remind you of Gryffindor?
Yes.
I was
Okay.
thinking New Brunswick.
I think Gryffindor.
New Brunswick's provincial flag is red with a yellow dragon
Oh,
or lion or something like that. You got to be a herring choker to understand that one.
A what?
a
A
herring,
herring choker. You guys are gophers. I'm a herring choker.
No, because the technical term for a gopher is sending somebody to get what you want. I am not a gopher.
Well, that's anybody from the prairies were deemed as gophers. New Brunswick were herring chokers. Newfoundlanders were newfies.
I was saying they're just newfies, yeah. So.
Nova Scotians were blue nosers.
Yeah, I heard that.
PEI are spuds.
Okay.
They're
And-
potatoes?
That's what they're known for.
Okay.
Bud the Spud from the bright red mud, rolling down the highway smiling. Who sings that song?
I
don't
literally
know.
just said.
Not country.
Sounds like Irish Rovers.
Stop
It's
and
not-
Tom Connors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That definitely wasn't the Irish Rovers.
I don't know.
You spud the Spud from the bright red mud, rolling down the highway smiling. That's Irish.
That's
I guess.
We'll go with that.
It's very stereotypical.
That's
Hi, Jimmy D.
Irish.
Potato.
that's more like the
Potatoes.
freaking leprechaun from Lucky Charms, but okay.
Which is based off of Irish.
Yeah, I'll say he's Irish, so
Sure.
it's not wrong.
It's magically delicious.
Sure.
When you talk about actually thinking about things on a spectrum, we're doing a choreographing a sword fight with Will and Britta. They're actually doing quite a good job. If you've seen us, I posted a video of their sword fight.
Hey, I saw that.
In another month, that's going to be just absolutely spectacular. And we were sitting there, and so Will is playing Theseus, which is Greek, and then Britta's playing Hippolyta, which is Roman, or technically it's Amazonian, but he had made this connection that it was the connection between Rome and Troy. It's called potatoes. This is the potato war. And what? And he broke down potato, and I can't remember what he said. I wished I wrote it down, but it was an anagram, and it was absolutely perfect. It was like an alliance treaty, something.
All right.
And it's just like just off the top of his head, it's like a 5-letter POTATO 6-letter anagram, which made sense. Impressive, Will.
Yeah.
So who? It is FBI
that are looking
Simmons
into.
is.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you find out later that they already knew exactly who he was, and they were leaving him alone. Basically.
Oh. Yeah.
You know what? One of my favorite lines that J.K. Simmons has ever said was, besides "Get me pictures of Spider-Man." Goddamn time-traveling robots.
What movie was that?
Terminator Genesis.
Yep.
Oh, he was in that?
Yeah. He played the cop that he saved when he was younger, and then there was the future.
Right,
Yeah.
I remember that.
I love that line. Goddamn time-traveling robots.
See, right there you can see he's debating on whether and like how much to tell her.
Yeah. What I love about J.K. Simmons is he's obviously a proven actor. He's got skills, he's got talent, he's got range, but he ain't got the looks. But yet he overcomes that with his ability, with his talent, and he keeps getting these great roles. I mean, J. Jonah Jameson's kind of that's a fluff piece.
Oh, totally.
That's just a fluff thing.
Totally it is.
Yeah, but then you get him to play between Whiplash and all this other stuff you mentioned earlier on. Man, he's got such internal energy.
Yeah.
And right here, everybody wants him as a dad.
Yes.
Were you a good father? Yes, I was a lousy agent, but I was a good father.
Thinking what you said for describing him there, like in terms of looks and everything, I think of Liar Liar.
Okay.
My teacher says that real beauty is on the inside. Oh, that's just something ugly people say.
See, right here, where he's... I don't agree with this part of the movie at all.
I don't agree with the method, but I understand the message.
I understand.
Yeah.
But the method was wrong. I mean, because...
Well, the message was right. The practice was wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 But, it's mainly because we spend so much time, especially with anybody on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Don't hit. Violence is not the answer. Don't hit.
Yeah.
And now they beat you up, go kick the shit out of them.
And this is like boomer Gen X mentality, right? Like early.
Wait, which is, I said the same thing too. Like, if they're gonna hit you, then hit them back.
Yeah.
But don't go purposely pick the fight.
Yeah. Don't pick the fight. Don't start it, but you can finish it.
Oh.
That was the rule of.
Yeah.
Rule of the 80s.
Yeah. If they're gonna start it.
Yeah.
And I've told my kid now, like, he's over 6 feet. Well, you saw him. Very filled out, and it's like he'll go to stand up against me. And it's
sorry, I'm just going to backtrack here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, you're right. I was going to say, wait a minute, who's he sending out there? Okay,
Sends
I
him
get
out.
it. Yeah, because I thought it was about the brother getting payback, and then I forgot it was him that sent.
Well, it says he's getting his ass kicked that they send out.
Yeah.
He throws one punch and the dad sends.
Yeah. Yeah, it's. I mean, it's about brothers. It's about family. Sorry, I hate those movies. It's about standing up for yourself, standing up for your brother. He wasn't going to be around.
But, he was holding his own against him just fine. That was more a case of you're going to go out there and you're going to make sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think we're going to refill our glasses of ice here, and we'll be back.
I need more water.
Right after these messages.
Be right back.
And we're back. Again. Now, we started the movie with the scene we're on right now, which is at about the 3/4 mark.
Where he's in the exact same area with him killing everybody.
But at the beginning, you never saw who the guy was walking in.
This is filling in the blanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of made guesses at this point. We figured, well, was this Bernthal or was it Affleck's character? I think I guessed correctly the first time I watched this. It just felt like the right thing. But,
with the direction they were going, it's a dead giveaway that it was Christian.
Yeah. There's a lot of... Oh, there's so much story here, and I don't think it's tough to follow, too. I mean, I hate movies that give you 30,000 points of exposition.
Yes.
And I think there's...
See, I think this part of the movie tells it well enough on why he left Christian alone, everything that Christian went through, the escaping jail, all of it.
Yeah, and this is that line. I love this. This is... You can see it in his eyes that he believes these words. Yeah. It's so... Yeah. The emotional peaks of this really hit me. They struck me. This point, the ending point, the brother point, It's how we know, and so now we know that it's been Christian that's been feeding him all these information.
Yeah.
To help him bust these cases, to help him do that. Because I feel like... that's the question.
It was kind of a tit for tat thing. I'll give you all this information, you leave me alone.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, that line struck me. Are you a good dad? And he says, yeah, I was a good dad. I'm a lousy agent, but I was a good dad. So what do you think that means to Christian? Does he think his dad was a good dad? Now, I don't know if this was intended for the movie, but it took me there.
Right? And maybe that's what he's wondering, because, why ask? Do you have kids?
Yeah.
Are you a dad? Do you have kids? Like, why ask that?
So it's my inclination to say that he does not resent his dad.
I'd say no.
I think there's a recognition that what his dad did was to help him and make him better, and that's what I think. But it wouldn't be hard for me to lean the other direction and say, well, we need more good dads. Type thing.
Yeah.
But I still want to believe the other way. I like that one better. I mean, we talk about, we on Mother's Day, I think we did the Shitty Mother Award or something like that.
We did Bad Moms.
Bad Moms. So,
there's no such thing as a shit.
Do we bring him up in Bad Dads? Is he a question, or is he a possibility to be a bad dad?
Which one?
Christian's dad.
Oh. Ow.
Ow?
That's not what he said. I couldn't imagine certain torture.
Ow. But, and he does do this telling her all of this, he does it in a very roundabout way. Starts with how he found out about him, and then how he gets to that point.
And it doesn't bother me one bit that we've seen him run across the street 3 times in that same scene. But they had to do it to tell this story, to get that. Yeah, he changed my life.
Yeah, because he leaves the Treasury Agency and goes and becomes an FBI agent.
Yeah. What'd you forget?
No, the phone rings.
Oh, yes. I'll never forget that voice. The woman.
Do you like puzzles?
And that's driving me nuts the first time I watched this.
Oh, really?
Who the fuck is this? It's like, oh, it's clearly that Christian is being fed by somebody. And then it's just like, who's he being fed by? And then at one point there's this like, well, how could she possibly know anything? And then that sweet little tidbit at the end.
Yep.
Boy, that rig could hack the Pentagon. I really love that. And I'm getting ahead of myself, but it is. This movie has so much joy for me. It has all the elements I want. Other than, well, I don't need to laugh that much. I've decided comedies are like not my number one thing. I'll leave that up to you guys.
Right, and then, finding out he was in military prison and it was Francis dying that set him off.
Who was Francis? Like he was
his cellmate.
What's that?
Francis was his cellmate.
No, but he was somebody to feed him all this information.
He was so he was supposed to off somebody for the mafia. It went bad. He ran and became an informant.
He ratted out the mafia.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he got a lot of information, which allowed Christian to feed the king.
Yes.
Mr. King. So it's one of those words that a lot of people don't know, but they say it a lot in like crime stuff.
Yes. And all because he sent 6 to the hospital after escaping from prison. All because his dad.
Another piece of this puzzle.
Yeah.
And it's all coming in. Corey, I'm sorry, you're watching this in a fucked up sense. So basically, that's his mom, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now they hate their mom. Bernthal, at least Bernthal does. Bernthal hated his mom for what she had done, and she had left them.
Yes.
She abandoned them to her father.
At this point, you don't really know what Christian's feelings are on the matter, but it's more of a case of he accompanied his dad to the funeral.
Is that what it was?
That's how I read
that
it.
Better. I mean, there's the idea that a mom's a mom.
Yes.
I mean, no matter how bad they are, they're still your mom.
Right.
You could jump onto that trope, but I like the idea that the dad.
But Christian never went near the casket. The dad did.
Yeah. So that makes that's a lot of sense that we were there because the dad recognized that she couldn't handle or deal with what he could.
Yeah.
And this is why I don't punch people randomly. You don't know who they are. They could be John Wick. They could be, Christian. I mean, and mind you, Ben Affleck is 6'3"?
He's a big boy.
Yeah.
Even without the pumping up for Batman, he's still got to be 200 pounds.
Oh, easily.
Which is he's a strapping,
This is where they figure out were you a good dad? Because he felt his dad was a good dad.
I think so too.
But then his dad got shot.
See, I think that's part of my problem is like I come to these conclusions by instinct, but then I question everything.
Right.
To me, all my initial instincts were I think matched up a lot with yours and other people's. And I go, wait a minute, that's tough to call. How do you know? It is,
Right, but then even at that point too, where he'll go after anybody who he feels broke his moral code.
Yeah.
Because they are very straightforward. This is how you're supposed to do things, and if you deviate, you've broken that.
That's you gotta love the code. Every good. I don't know what you want to call it. Somebody that can facilitate death quite easily must have a code.
Well, and
whether it's Dexter or whether it's Christian or.
And I wouldn't say that it's so much that he can facilitate death easily, because in a way it affects him, just not the same as everybody else. But so that's a hard one. For him, it's a hard one.
Yeah. It's like I say. I mentioned it earlier on when we find out who the voice is. It's just like we always. Well, in life we look at things visually, and that's how we take things in. And it's very, unless you have no sight, and your auditory is so focused, we take the default of what we visualize. So obviously they cannot be capable of any good, strong thought because they can't control their whatever. And then that's such a wrong way to look at things.
Yes.
And I mean, I'll say right off the bat, slow learning on that,
See, and now she gets the call from the woman. And tell Mr. King to get his feet off the table. He's not living in a barn.
And this is where it all comes to fruition. All comes down to the excitement again. A little more excitement.
A little bit.
You get to see Bernthal and Ben have some fun. So the first mistake was hiring your brother, the brother of somebody you want dead.
Right.
Which is a very difficult way to say something, but
right. Because when he comes in, all of a sudden it's stand down.
So the question is if no, I want to jump ahead. I want to go to the end.
Well, we can a little bit.
No, I just think talking things through. I don't know.
Yeah, you can tell these guys are very military.
One of my first questions were these a close team of Bernthals, or are these just hired?
I would say that they were originally a team.
Yeah.
Up until, well, let's see, that one's hard too, because they're in the middle of fighting with him, and he says stand down, and the one guy says fuck you, so.
Yeah.
But that could be a heat of the moment thing too.
3,000 feet per second go through, and I'm going to narrate this.
Yeah.
I like that.
Right? Because
nobody does, because you did.
I think at that point he kind of knew who it was.
I think he's piecing it all together. Now the question is like, how many other highly skilled assassins are in the assassin world that are for hire? There's something you can see. Bernthal's character is adding stuff up.
Yeah.
Yeah, his eyes are calculated.
Yeah, and the question is this a style that he knows?
Oh, I very much think it is.
Is it go right at him? Go now?
He's just feeding him to the slaughter at this point.
Go join your friends.
Oh, so maybe
See,
they are
hired. Because you wouldn't do that to, if you were like a troop that was back in the war and fought together, you wouldn't be so quick to
send him out like that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah.
I think that's what he's doing.
He's looking for him at this point.
He's baiting him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's throw smoke outside. I can tell you, he's probably not going to come through the front entrance. That, or he is going to do the whole Batman thing.
Well, okay, all facetiousness aside, we got a guy that's thinking about everything, every possible scenario. He's thinking about that paranoia. He's not just looking straight forward.
No.
And that realistically is the only thing that really draws you to that Batman. On that note, we've never had what I felt was a perfect portrayal of Batman. Like, they all were weak in one form or another.
I'm not saying Christian Wolf is Batman, but I'm just saying I've never seen Christian Wolf and Batman in the same room.
That's kind of my point here. I think, maybe we could have seen Batman, Ben Affleck do it, but I don't think that's what Zack Snyder wanted out of it.
No, his storyline was garbage.
I wouldn't say garbage, but it was unorthodox for sure.
I don't know, if I got somebody shooting at me from above me, I don't think I'd be that calm. But
socially unaware to be calm.
Apparently.
But calm.
Yeah. But, also highly trained, so.
Yeah. See, my Batman is always going to be a paranoid. Like, he will be paranoid. And I haven't seen that paranoia from a Batman. Sorry.
But see, I told you he wasn't going to walk through the front door.
Yeah. So there's two moments. The moment he recognizes who it is, and the moments when they reconcile the divide between them.
Yes. But you can tell he got clipped there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Batman plus the killer.
Okay.
Which I don't have any problems with Batman killing in a particular world.
But did they have like a whole platoon going into this? They had
to define what makes up a platoon.
Well, there's more than like freaking 4 guys.
I'm thinking there's been at least a dozen now.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
He's just destroying that house, and these guys have really shitty aim too.
Harry, you're alive, and you're a horrible shot.
Right?
Something I've noticed when critiquing certain movies, like this is not as bad as some, but how many cuts they make to make a good fight? You know, you can get away with some, but then you look at some movies, Asians, like the Kung Fu movies, that is where the brilliance comes from. And you look at things like what Jackie Chan does, and a lot of these Kung Fu movies are because they are lifetime martial artists, so they don't have to make these cuts. Ooh, okay, this is interesting. Let's pray the body armor holds.
Right, because
You got 2 layers of body armor.
I mean, and obviously that hurt,
Oh yeah.
and that's where his brother knows for sure that it's him.
Yeah. Cox, when he played Daredevil in the 2nd season of the Netflix Daredevil,
Yeah.
they did like it was like an 8-9 minute uncut fight sequence, much like Old Boy. That's another one. If you've ever seen that.
Was that when he's fighting the Punisher on the rooftop?
No, this one was in a building when he might have ended up with the Punisher, but he was going through levels of a building.
Yeah.
Because everybody just carries a tourniquet.
I mean,
They would. Military people would have that quick tourniquet. They probably have a couple vials of their whatever the common drug, painkiller type stuff.
Sure.
That was
See,
the Solomon.
And he's saying the rhyme too.
Yeah. Ultimately, it's your death. But hey, we'll save that for. So what's going through his mind?
Is it fear, or is it anger?
I think it's anger. I mean, I don't think he's afraid of his brother. I think he's mad, and we learn out later he's mad that he went to the funeral.
Right.
And I think that heaving is just like, what's going through his mind?
Probably the same thing that's going through his brother's mind.
Well, no, I think his brother's angry because he went to see Mom. Why did you go see Mom, right?
At that point, but right now it's more. Right now it seems to be more of a shock of, I just tried to kill my brother, and my brother just tried to kill me.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. It's, oh no, what did I do wrong? No, you know what I mean? He feels there's a shame or something.
And you notice neither one of them can keep eye contact?
Yeah. And he's still fighting the fact that he knows his brother doesn't show emotion, yet he's clearly right there trying to rationalize through that.
Yes.
Oh, we're going to do some editing here.
There's going to be lots of editing.
Yeah, this is so strong to me. This brother, this type thing, I mean, he doesn't fight back. He takes it.
It's your older brother. He's pissed off. You're the freaking punching bag. You just take it.
Yeah.
See, and that's where his brother starts fighting back.
Yeah.
Because now he's been insulted by being called weird.
It's really no contest in reality.
Yeah.
Ben's got like 40 pounds on him at least.
Oh, easy.
Much more of a reach. But I still
all he's really got to do is just put his hand on his head and hold him there.
Yeah.
Just egging him on, and it's just like, he doesn't want to fight. You're my brother. You're my brother.
And,
Yeah.
Are you going to fight? Yeah, because you just asked me to fight you. Well, that's because his brother's fighting with emotion, or out of emotion, and Christian's now just shut right down.
As a storyteller, as a filmmaker, I would question the strength of why would I have Christian pull the gun? Because we're in a great moment here that could be told several ways, and in great ways.
See, and even this point, because they get so focused on that one task, why'd he stop?
Exactly. These highly trained, Navy SEALs, Delta Forces, all these people, it's just like they're not trained for dramatic pauses or allowing for monologuing. So it's usually, if it was true, it would be take down, pull, bang, done. You can walk away and do the big bend,
With the kind of super focus he would have, he wouldn't have stopped.
I would have said that this is...
Or I don't
that would have
think-
been somewhat of the most unrealistic.
Right.
And it's not that much
No.
of a stretch because...
And it's not to say that he wouldn't,
yeah.
but from personal experience, they don't stop. They will go
So,
until, like, they
one
drive you
could
to
argue...
boredom.
One could argue, and I'm being my own devil's advocate here too, is that when he decided to fight back for his brother, there was no contest. It was quick. So it could have been that essence of this is what my brother wants me to do, so I'll just show him to leave me alone, and then that we could rationalize that.
We could rationalize it that
without
way.
too much difficulty.
Yeah.
So, which I like that idea. So it turns out that John Lithgow's character was
Was the bad guy.
a bad guy. I mean, he was embezzling or stealing money, but he's trying to give us this reason that he's doing a good thing by helping neuroscientists, but he just wants it for himself.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was. He creates
So
amputees, helps amputees, stuff like that.
I mean, so right there, he's right. There's a mix-up in context there because he says, "Why did you hire me?" And Christian says to leak-proof your books, but he's not the one who originally hired him.
So you're saying continuity error?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, no. I can accept that.
Yeah.
But I mean, one could, and if you have to actually step back to rationalize, then it hasn't quite fulfilled its need to tell that information. And I always assumed that he told her to go find an accountant to do this, and clearly their relationship, which we knew they had from that photo.
Yes.
So, but it's a matter of whether you're looking to argue or just, on your second, third, fourth time in a movie. I totally understand we're going to argue and pick it apart.
Right. And this
is still a tight movie.
It is.
It's a tight movie.
I mean, even at that point, Braxton goes, "I miss you." Ben Affleck doesn't answer. And it's actually Braxton that answers it all. "I missed you too, Braxton. I missed you because I love you."
Yeah. I like that. It almost falls on the I know.
Right.
The same type of thing. Yeah. I found this interesting. We're leading into final thoughts here pretty quick. Why does she not give credit to him? Because he wants her.
She gives
her
credit
career.
to the whole team.
What's that?
She gives credit to the whole
Yeah,
team.
yeah, well, absolutely. But it's the credit belongs to a couple, three people.
Yes.
Very individually. I mean, I don't remember seeing half these people anywhere in the movie, so that team effort is kind of okay.
This is true, but in realism, Agent Medina was leading the investigation.
Yeah.
She went to her director because of it, but she states that it was the whole team, which includes him and everybody else that she went for.
But that's the public statement that should always be made. It's a team effort. We did it. I couldn't have done it without them. But it was. We look at his encouragement for her to suck it up, move forward. Let's get your shit together. You're smarter than this. You're better than this. And it was him that pushed her to do that. It was him that gave her the connections. And I think this is all great stuff. And I like the fact that
This is where they give.
This we find out the beginning. We're back where it all started, at the home for the mentally underdeveloped, or wherever they call it for. And it was a guy that understood it, or at least understood it as best as one could.
Yes.
In the era in which they did, and he pushed it and tried.
Well, and he is a neurologist, so that helps.
Yeah.
But it makes you wonder if he knew everything that was going on in there.
That's an interesting question, and I thought it too. Does he know what's going on between
his daughter and Christian?
Yeah. So that's the big thing. His daughter, who we met in the very beginning of the movie, which Ben Affleck's character, they made a quick connection.
They have a connection.
They
Yes.
had a connection, and now we find out that this British sexy voice on The Voice that's been helping him out is his daughter
Yeah.
with severe autism. Or at least non-verbal.
She was nonverbal.
Non-verbal.
Yeah.
And like I said, I didn't understand it. How could somebody like that have that? But then I found a person, a video, a documentary, and there was a guy who looked very similar to that, but he had his pad, and then it was just like this complex thought sentences he came up with,
Yeah.
and to explain things on the fly. Oh, so,
Right? Because
It's the puzzle.
Yes.
yeah.
I mean, cause she's quite able to type things, but she always seems like she's doing it when her dad's not around too, because she completely calms after they leave.
As parents, would you be comfortable leaving your child with somebody like that? Now, we know a little bit different than what maybe. Think of the average parent. That would be a scary thing to do, wouldn't it?
Depends on what you grew up with, I guess.
Well, no, that's what I mean. Like I've watched my friend raise a child from nothing to,
Right?
and he ended up being a 6-foot monster of a child with autism, and they finally figured things out for him. But
Yeah.
you don't know that.
Right? And strangely enough, it's less.
BX32 computer, water cooled, 12 core.
Right? But it's less being uncomfortable leaving your child with somebody like that, as I'm trying to think of the best way of putting it. It's less uncomfortable leaving your child with somebody like that, as not knowing, and the parents are uncomfortable with somebody like that versus the child, because the child's going to see it completely different.
Yeah, and that's through the eyes of a child, they view everything differently.
Yeah.
So,
Now, why the fuck? Because as they're zooming in on that wall, this is the caretaker maintenance person in me. Why the hell is she putting plaster on a brick wall?
Well, was it not brick before? Was it not plasterized before when the all the shotgun and all the bullet holes?
No, they were shooting brick. Generally, I don't think you'd use plaster for a brick wall.
I love that, and I'm sad that she has to ruin that, but I understand why.
It's because she
the dogs
knows.
playing poker,
Yeah.
which the original is worth something.
And it's because of this, because she notices it in the corner. That,
Yeah.
because it's almost like he did that on purpose. He left a little lip there just so that she would know.
Yes. I'm just curious of what's that's worth. Oh, the Jackson Pollock painting worth $140 million.
So see,
Not necessarily that one, but one of his.
right?
So
But see, so if she were to actually sell it instead of hanging it,
she'd probably be arrested.
right? But let's
On
hang
an
it
open
in
market,
plain
yeah.
visibility and just tell everybody that's a forgery.
Yeah, yeah. Did you know that one of the hardest paintings to find and to buy is a Bob Ross?
Yeah.
There are a lot of them, and they know exactly where they are. They know exactly who has them, but they are refusing to release any. And it's his family.
Well, and it's understandable.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't want to release his paintings either.
There's a couple that get snuck out that were done by commissions he did for somebody else that they asked, but it's very rare. So, the movie's over. Everything was answered in a tight-knit way. I'll start with the final thoughts.
But was it answered in a tight-knit way?
I think so. For as a viewer, I was very happy with the closure of everything. Everything came together in a very comfortable way for me. I didn't get left wanting anything. I just thought the performances were like spot on. I couldn't argue. I'm trying to find more or less something to take away from the movie, because I found it quite emotional with the brothers. I found it quite emotional that this connection that the girl and Ben's character Christian had. I felt like for whatever reason they mastered nuance, is what I would say. Then we had a little bit of fun with some action in the middle, which I think the choreography was pretty solid and tight. We got to see what presumably an action #1 comic might look like next to a Jackson Pollock, which we discovered could be as much as $140 million.
Right? I'd sell it and risk the jail time.
And I'd keep the...
I would just sell it in the black market.
Right?
Yeah. So, this was a very emotionally grabbing movie. I still can't fathom what was wrong with the pacing, everything else, and I'm going to give it... Then I'll tell you where I put it in the theater box. But
in the theater box?
In the theater box.
That's what we have now. Theater boxes.
Not my place.
Yes. And we're all going to put our own section in our own theater boxes.
I am so happy right now, by the way, that we do need more boxes.
Well, Jeff hasn't finished them yet.
Jeff hasn't started them yet.
Well, that's his fault. And granted, I really don't want to paint it right now.
I don't have time to paint it. But I think this is a structurally, objectively strong movie. And I'm going to give it, and I'm going to be, I don't know, I want to give it more, but I'll give it a 9 out of 10, just because not once was I taken out of the movie and thought, oh, that's stupid. There was a moment where I thought, oh, no. I guess, no, that would be fun. So I have to take a note off with that. It tended to leave me questioning a few questions, but I enjoyed the fact that it did. So, but on a personal level, because it had such emotion, I'm going to give this one like I'm going to give it a 10. Subjectively, I just loved the movie. It had action, it had drama, the emotional connection, and did it so well. And you could put this in an action. Was it an action section?
I so don't agree with that.
What's that?
I don't agree with that.
I wouldn't put it there. I'm just trying to think of the sections. I'd put it in drama. It is 100% a drama. So I'm just trying to think of what else. It wasn't Christmas, so that's out.
Christmas isn't a section.
Well, others
it's a
would argue
subcategory.
But one could put it in an action-adventure type section.
No.
No.
One could.
You
that
could.
One is
Not
wrong.
me.
That one is wrong. Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
All right. You want to go next, Corey?
Anyway, like I said, I unfortunately, and I try not to be that guy, but I did not get a chance to watch this before tonight. So there was a lot of watching as we went. I knew of this movie. I wanted to see this movie. I had every intention on watching this movie. I just did not get around to it. From what I saw, I really enjoyed it. I do want to give this movie some actual full dedication. I agree with you. The characters were well fleshed out and well portrayed. There's a part of me that didn't like Bernthal's character. I don't know, like his portrayal. There's something about it. I can't put my finger on it, but and yeah. And then I had a mini issue with Kendrick, but very, very minor. All in all, it was very well done. I was getting this mistaken with Argo because I thought Affleck directed this. And I'm like, oh crap, no, it's not. But no, he knocked it out of the park. It's a scary thing when you're an actor and you're playing somebody with mental illness of sorts. I don't know what to use, mental whatever.
Mental illness is
okay. But so you're walking on eggshells when you do that because you don't want to offend that community, but at the same time you want to properly represent that community. And I think he did a good job. And the big thing is facial expressions, and that's what sells something like that is facial expressions, and he had it. So yeah, based on my limited knowledge on it, I'm gonna say it is a 4 out of 5. Could I give this a 5? Maybe I could. I can't yet because it's not fair. But I really enjoyed it, and I do recommend that people check it.
Yes, and you have the freedom to amend it after you've given it the focus it deserves.
Yes.
Yeah, I might even follow this one up with a written review hitting the page, so check our Facebook and Instagram. I can't say when. Just keep your eye out.
Yeah.
Right. So on a side note, because Corey, you were saying, you don't want to offend any of them and blah, blah, blah. Did you know Dan Aykroyd has Tourette syndrome?
I think I did, actually.
And so, because we had said earlier, too, like, they get drawn to them, right? So, yeah, no, Dan Aykroyd was one that's very, very much, he's a fan in my house. Or, well, my kids are fans of him in my house. Because of the fact that he's got Tourette's and he's high functioning. You would not know that he has Tourette's looking at him.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I assume you put it in what section?
Drama.
Oh, yeah, I never said that. Yeah, no drama, for sure.
Right.
So.
So, and for me going into this one, it was a hard watch for me, and it's because I have a child with disabilities. So, going into it, knowing already that it's about somebody with autism and what they're going through, it made it harder to watch, but it's still a really good movie because it's more real. It's not what's been pushed down our throats for the last 40 years. Definitely don't say it's an action. It's got a few action scenes, but most dramas
And they're really good, though.
They are really good.
Yeah.
But it's still really just part of the story, and it helps tell the story better. But with all of that, with the realism, the somewhat action scenes, but mainly the storytelling, for me, it's an 8.5 out of 10. It loses some because I don't like slow build movies. They drive me nuts, and it's really hard to keep my attention. That is ADHD.
And I would like to point out to all the fans out there that are listening, we requested it to be reviewed by Laura. This was not her choice. She showed up. So when you say, somebody made a comment on TikTok, well, if you don't like the movie, what are you doing reviewing it? Because we want the outside input so that we can say other people have a different perspective.
Right. So, and with that in mind for TikTok and everything too, that is the whole point of the podcast. It's real life opinions. It's not, oh, look, we're going to watch this movie and everybody's going to like it because one person said so.
Yeah.
Doesn't work that way. And if that happened, shoot me now. But,
I think it was funny is when I first started this gig and I was doing it for the newspaper, and I was working at the theater, and then after that I was kind of promoting the video store in town. I could not knock a movie because I wanted to give them business.
Oh.
So every movie, no matter how shitty, because with the theater we got passes, so every week I did a new movie, like the newest released movie. But every movie, no matter how shitty it was, I had to give it a positive spin, and that's what it was. It wasn't lying. It was taking the positive out of it, and it drove me nuts because my most claim to fame, personally, and back in the day when I had it, put it out, was my Twilight review, and oh my god, did I tear that one a new asshole?
Oh, really?
And I loved it. It couldn't be published today. I'd have to change words.
But when that one was published too, like we'd have people come in and be like, well, I want to watch Twilight, but I heard it's got bad reviews, and even then we're sitting there going, okay, so Corey didn't like it. That's not saying that you're not going to like it.
Review, yes, exactly.
Right? So
Well, that's the problem is I had the people that, and you had the people that would not watch a movie if you didn't like it.
Right? Because, so even me, we have our staff picks at the store, and I started lying. Like, before when we put them up, there would not be a single romance in my section. It was all horror.
And there never should have been.
I was going to say.
Right? But because people would not watch it because it wasn't in my pick, like whether it was action or romance or whatever, they wouldn't watch it because I didn't like it. So I started lying and putting it into my picks just so that they'd watch it.
See, I totally understand what you guys are saying, and See, I've come through my life into a certain point in which I so strongly seek truth.
Yeah.
And I was just like, if you're going to say something and I don't believe it's true, I'm going to question it. I'm learning not to be an asshole about things. I've been through that phase. But I couldn't imagine lying or accepting something at face value. Right. You know, it's just like I now know, I know so much about Corey because I know he has a certain amount of fandom for Adam Sandler stuff. I know his likes and dislikes in horror. So now when Corey says, "Oh, I really hated that movie," I can say, "Oh, I'm gonna love it then," because it's not. It doesn't hit his marks, or vice versa.
Whereas I'm tougher in that regards because like there's horror movies like Corey likes. I absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to fight about Devil's Rejects. Just saying.
Oh, we're so gonna fight on that.
I'm curious about it. I'd like to watch it just because I'll probably hate it.
It's gonna be like freaking. I'm not watching that fucking movie. Just saying.
Oh, so that's gonna be like you two, like me and Jeff on Marvel DC.
Jeff wants to do that movie. I said that movie is a little too graphic and brutal, but he's like, well, we do different things. I'm like, because again, the part of me what likes to promote to the masses, I tell people that's in my top 3 favorite movies.
Yeah.
However,
I can't promote it to the masses because it's so graphic and brutal.
See, it's like, and I really got to bring you that movie. So like Corey likes Devil's Rejects. I like Strangeland, horror movie. I like Strangeland.
Oh, okay.
And it is extremely graphic, but it's not going to play to a lot of the demographics either. So that one's a hard one to do. But in the same sense, should we do some of them? Sure. Can we? Most likely. Is it going to be hard if anybody's got young kids in the house? Yes.
I mean, we're on Rated R podcast already. So.
Well, but watching it when the kids are there.
So I think nothing wrong with having a little advisor at the beginning, if that's the case. It's not like they're watching what we're watching.
Yeah.
But I also think, and contrary to how Jeff and I seem to oil and vinegar and oil and water or whatever.
Oil and water.
Yeah, oil and water.
I like oil and vinegar.
I think there's a lot of crossover with him because I do agree. I think we should absolutely blast out who we are.
Right?
The real selves. Now, what, like myself and Jeff need to kind of figure out that best way to say, yeah, okay, you liked it, good for you, I think it's shit. And end it. You know?
Right,
so we need to find the communication better. But I think being our whole selves will make this better and
having a healthy debate is good.
Yes.
Because debating is healthy. But, you know, like Rory said, he wants to do Devil's Rejects.
We'll do it.
Sure, let's do it. I am not going to like that movie, and I am going to bash the shit out of it. So bring it on.
And where I might not like it, but I probably won't bash the shit out of it because it's not my thing.
Right, but, you know, that's where Corey and I come to play in that one because it's a horror movie. But it is a horror movie.
Oh.
Horror is part of it.
A horror?
The horror movie, yes.
Well, actually, fun that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm assuming that there's no supernatural to it?
No.
Oh, okay, so
no.
See, this is how well I'm starting to understand.
Right.
There's no supernatural.
That's why I didn't say
Corey
horror. It's horror. It's the horror movie. So, but you know, it's like I said on that one too. Like, well, you're finding out, Mike. Like, I really love my horror movies. Like, give me a good true story.
Oh, absolutely. I think, you know, someday in the future we'll do The Whale. That's another great one.
I want to do Gifted.
Gifted.
Like
the
Chris
one
Evans?
with Chris Evans?
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yes.
That was a fantastic movie.
Yeah, I would love to do Gifted.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
You know, let's put the accountant where it's supposed to be. It is a drama.
Yeah,
it is 100%
so,
drama.
Do you think that the Bourne movies belong in action or drama?
Depends on which one.
And that's kind of where I was going at. Where Bourne, I think, has more action in it. But I still think
it's very much the same vein, you know.
But So, and I don't know if not sure if you guys caught it. It depends on which Bourne movie.
Oh, and yeah, each through a series. What's that? 5?
Mm-hmm.
5 of them. They're going to lean into each element. Like
Yep.
we want to singularly put this into that, and we all know that there's action comedies and dramedies and
Yep.
and all that sort of thing. So a lot of movies, I don't mind it when you have an action comedy.
Well,
But you lean heavy into one or the other.
Well,
The
it's
other
like-
one is just a supporting element.
right, but it's like even watching the James Bond ones.
Yeah.
You've got drama, you've got action, you've got romance.
Yeah. And some of them lean in harder than other movies.
Dexter's on
Exactly.
Netflix now?
Yes, because they brought it back.
Which one?
Cool. This.
Dexter.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, one of my favorite TV series.
Absolutely. And freaking season 4 with Lithgow. Oh
I
my
have
god.
not watched it yet, so I really should.
Really?
Yeah.
I would highly recommend it. I think you would appreciate it.
I probably would.
Yeah.
I don't
So-
like James Remar's voice, but that's okay.
See, and
I love
that's,
his sister.
That's the other thing too. Is if I
She's too
find
skinny.
a voice annoying,
Yeah.
especially the main characters, if I find that voice annoying, I can't watch it. It destroys the whole movie for me.
Yeah, I'm not,
Well, and I'm absolutely, but James Remar's a very different character in that show.
Who's James
He's the
Remar?
dad. He's the dad in it.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
Yeah.
he's not the main character. So I
No,
can get
but
around
he's
that.
just as important.
He's
Yes.
the moral compass of the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Right,
But-
and I understand that.
I just don't like his voice. Anyway, but Michael C. Hall's voice is just hypnotic.
Yeah. He played
Freaking-
Batman
Yes, he did.
in Gods and Monsters animated DC.
I know of that. I never watched it.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
that was
I
actually
didn't
a great take. I
Yeah.
loved it. Again, that's not your Batman or my Batman, but I thought it was a great take. So, anyway, I got about 20 minutes, half an hour of editing.
Have fun.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
gonna go home
Or
and
more.
melt.
I'm gonna go home and sleep, and then be at work at 6:30, and
I'm gonna turn this fan.
I've got the boss coming down tomorrow, like the boss's boss type thing. so.
I'm actually helping Becky tomorrow because I don't have a whole shit ton going on at work right now. Minus 12.
Don't jinx it.
Right. Minus 12 viewings that are on one unit that I posted on Friday, and most of them I'm not doing because I'm not here.
Haha.
Okay, I'm gonna log off because we're hitting our 2-hour mark again. So, I like the hour and a half. Good night, all. Any last words?
See you in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. So
Yeah.
whose pick is it next week then?
It'll be Corey's pick because
Corey's.
Jeff and
Mine
I are
already?
not here.
Oh.
Jeff and I aren't here.
So it's just me and you?
Oh, okay. So
And you're not allowed to do the crow.
I think we should. So I'm gonna fade out with okay. Give us your best Wilhelm scream.
Is that it?